very much, Manisha, for giving us that perspective on the currency. Well, let's talk more about the overall macros then. We've got DK Joshi, Chief Economist at CRISIL, now joining in on the show. Thanks very much for being with us now, Mr. Joshi. Yesterday, we did have the government sticking to the borrowing target despite the slowdown in revenue collection. Now, had there been an increase in the borrowing program, do you think that in some way would have been an admission of the increase in the overall fiscal deficit?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I couldn't hear it properly.
Well, talking about the borrowing program, which was in line with what we were expecting, what did you make of that?
Well, I think government has been maintaining that it will keep the fiscal deficit at 4.8%, and I think so from that perspective they have to stick to the borrowing program. But going ahead, I think I do expect some slippage there, and maybe government will have to borrow more than what they had budgeted for the year, because our estimate is that fiscal deficit will go up to 5.2% of GDP and not be at 4.8, which has been the target for this year. So some slippage is there, and so I think that will get reflected in the borrowings also, additional borrowings also.
You also had the government who had mentioned a buyback of close to 50,000 crores of bonds during the budget. Do you think that this is likely to happen perhaps in the second half of the year? And how do you see the impact of the buyback of bonds impacting the bond yields?
Well, I think we'll have to hold and see whether that plays out or not. I think right now the chances...
Mr. Joshi, please excuse us. Just come to you in a bit because Vijay Mallya is speaking at the USL AGM. Let's just cut across there.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Vijay Mallya there at the United Spirits AGM, touching upon quite a few factors, talking about the USL Diageo deal and how the United Breweries Holdings winding up petition won't be impacting United Spirits. Should just quickly pull up that stock for you because it is gaining quite a bit of traction ahead of the AGM, as well as post that you do have the counter up by a good 1%. But we were in conversation with Mr. DK Joshi, Chief Economist at CRISIL, talking about the macros. And Mr. Joshi, apologies for interrupting you. You were talking about the impact of the bond buyback on the bond yields.
Well, I think we'll have to just wait for mid-quarter policy and let's see what kind of stance comes out of there. I think bond yields are impacted by many factors. I mean, so we'll have to, our expectation right now is that the bond yields by 10-year bonds, for instance, by March 2014 will trade close to 8%. That's the expectation right now, but I think that will be shaped more, I think, both by what happens to the fiscal stance of the government and also I think what kind of monetary guidance we get going ahead. Right now looks like I think we are in for some more rate hikes.
Okay. Aside of the domestic action, how do you think the global situation would be for the bond yields? One, because we saw the yields harden up quite significantly after the fears of tapering started. Now that has been done away with, even if it means only for a temporary period, do you think that those fund flows resume and that help the bond prices shore up a bit?
Well, that could happen. I mean, and I think apart from that, I think we've also seen some action to get more foreign capital into the system, and I think all that is going to give some more assurance to the investors in terms of stability of currency. Though I think it's too early day to say because rupee will remain volatile. I think the main event, which is tapering, hasn't happened, and there are talks that it could start. I mean, I think it was just mentioned in a program as well. So I think there are too many moving parts at this juncture and too much uncertainty. But I think right now the risk appetite as well as liquidity position globally is reasonably good. So that's why we're seeing inflows into our system.
The other bit is I heard you in your first or the second answer mention about you believing that the fiscal deficit will not be maintained at 4.8%. You believe it could cross up to 5.2 or thereabouts. Now, the finance minister had mentioned 4.8 as a red line. Why do you think he will not be able to meet up with that?
Well, I think our calculations suggest that that if he has to meet that, he'll have to cut down on capital expenditure very sharply, which I think in a slowing economy may not be such a great idea. So I think maintaining the fiscal deficit at 4.8% will only be possible by cutting capital expenditure, because in an election year, I think you can't cut revenue expenditure too much. We have seen some austerity program already started in the government, which is going to help a little bit at the margin. But I think overall, the pressure from revenue collection with anemic industrial growth, with overall GDP growth slipping to below 5%, I think there's going to be massive pressure on from the revenue side. So I think in that scenario, maintaining fiscal deficit at exactly at 4.8% will require very hard decisions on the capital expenditure front.
But don't you think, Mr. Joshi, that perhaps that worry of cutting down the expenditure could be offset by strong agri growth as well as a little bit of depreciation that we had seen recently in the currency?
Not too much. I mean, agri is, I think, is not going to help too much in revenue generation. I think it's the sector itself doesn't pay. Doesn't pay taxes. But the point is that the spillover of agriculture into rest of the economy is going to be mild, and agriculture doesn't have enough muscle to offset the headwinds which the industrial sector and the service sector are facing. So that's why we expect overall growth to be lower than last year, and I think that will also reflect and hit to the government revenues. So we expect government revenues below what have been budgeted, and the only way to attain the fiscal target of 4.8 is to cut down capital expenditure quite sharply, the kind of thing you did last year. But this year, I think doing it would have adverse implications for growth as well.
Do you think there is scope for some hard decisions being taken, if not until December, then post that, or you think that will not quite take place? I'm referring directly to the fuel price hikes.
Well, I think fuel price hike is definitely required, and but I think the runway for the government is short now. I think elections are nearing, so as you inch closer to the elections, I think these decisions become more and more difficult to take. But I think we've already seen hard decision on the fuel front, and I would expect some more diesel price hikes at least going ahead before the elections.
Okay, Mr. Joshi, thanks very much for taking the time out and joining in with your opinion on the overall macros and where you see the bond yields headed, as well as action from the Reserve Bank. We'll take a quick break then right here on Market Sense. Come right back for lots more on the other side.